Ohio, the Buckeye State, or as Ron Burgundy would say, oh. Hi-yo. Now, Ohio got its nickname from a tree that has a nut that's named after a whitetail buck's eyeball. Also, the state mammal is the whitetail deer. So you would think that with reasonably priced over-the-counter tags and its close proximity to our home state of Virginia, this would be the ideal state for us to kill big bucks in.
It's a beautiful state. It's got huge bucks, great people. Our luck just stays at home when we come here, though.
But for Team Red Arrow, it has been the thorn in our side for the last 4 years.
It's like the Bermuda Triangle for us, man. Our ability to get within 60 yards or less of a mature buck has been lost for the last 5 years, 4 years, whatever it's been. Our Ohio luck continues. Let me read you the predicted forecast for tomorrow here. 100% chance of severe thunderstorms. 20 to 30 mile an hour wind. 1000% chance of sleeping in.
You know, Mark Twain once said, when ill luck begins, it doesn't come in sprinkles, but in showers. Ohio luck continues to be exactly the same as it's always been for us. Bad. We'll construct a little tent to get dressed in. Or in our case, monsoons and blizzards.
We got another rain cell coming in on us. The barn's about to fall down on our head. I hear you up here, Lord. I just don't know what you're trying to say to me.
2 blizzards to be exact.
It's -9 degrees outside right now. Not exactly bow hunting weather. These tree stands are frozen and my boots are frozen to the tree stand. Every time I try to shift my feet, they'd crack. Oh man, they're in so much pain. I'm afraid this is as cold as I've ever been.
So on the next couple episodes, we're gonna take you through a string of bad luck, thicker than Chuck Norris's chest hair.
I think when I got out of the Ram and shut the truck door, when we got here, all the deer's antlers fell off. So it's just pretty much par for the course for this season. But
so if you guys stick with us, we're gonna take you on a journey that spans 4 years, 8 hunting trips, 60 hours of footage, misses, mishaps, horrible luck, the worst of conditions.
As the old saying goes, things can always get worse. A kid on the neighboring property shot a deer, couldn't find it, so he walked circles in here the day before we hunted it. Our luck, I'm saying, it's not that we're not in the right places. We're doing everything right that I know to do. And it works in every other state in the union. But daggone Ohio, man.
But you know what? The more that somebody tells me I can't do something, the more I get dedicated to proving them wrong.
Been in Ohio a week and a half, and the deer we've been chasing every single day, standing in bow range, like 40 yards, and he wouldn't get out of the way of the truck. He just stood on the side of the road as if to taunt us. Like, ha, you guys are leaving.
In the early days of Red Arrow, not only was the hunting in Ohio tough, but just getting out there and getting home seemed to be a big problem for us.
This is not good. This is aggravating, man. We're never gonna get that right.
The first time I think we tried to go out there, the truck broke down. That was before I drove my fine
Ram.
This sucks.
I figured they probably done.
Josh putting a new fuel filter in. Josh's dad knows all about this stuff, so. You know, our first hunt in Ohio was with Ty McCombs of Whitetail Outfitters of Ohio. Ty had a history on the TV business and a success rate that speaks for itself. And that's why we picked it, man, and the hunting was phenomenal.
Big buck, Josh. Big buck, all the way at the end of the field, that's him.
Well, the first sit, we saw a shooter 10-pointer with a split G3. We ended up hunting this buck every day. Move stands, it just never failed. Whenever we would move, he would pop out at the other end of the field.
I think it's our shooter. He's down there eating. Oh yeah, that's him. That's a good buck. It's the last morning. Josh and I've been so close, but we can't get a good deer to walk within 50 yards or under. So we got 1 day left. It's supposed to rain today. So there's a really nice 11-pointer. lives out in this field. That if we'd have been right here the first day, we'd have killed him dead of a doornail right there 30 yards.
And of course, the week after we left, a client killed the deer in one of the same tree stands we'd been hunting. We tried to make a return trip out to Ohio that year, only to find ourselves in one of the worst blizzards Virginia ever had.
Turning back's a bad decision. Never retreat.
We ended up making it back to within 10 miles of my house.
Kidding me?
And ended up sliding in a ditch on a back road along with an ambulance and 2 VDOT trucks. And just to top off the year, ATA show happened to be in Ohio. We hit a deer going 75 miles an hour in my wife's car and totaled it.
We killed a deer. Woo! With the car.
But I will say this, we weren't gonna pass on the free deer meat.
I've never seen anything's head come apart quite like that.
I was mad at Ohio, son. I gutted that sucker and threw it on the roof rack.
There's nothing quite as redneck as securing a deer you just hit with a car with duct tape while your wife pees under an overpass.
Fast forward to 2010, we're sitting in a tree stand and out comes a deer that Ty knew from the trail cameras called Knobby Knee.
Careful. He's looking right at us.
This deer comes up over a steep hill and all of a sudden he's in our lap. Totally handcuffed me at like 30 yards. I'm at full draw. By the time I decide he's a shooter, he had already walked through my last shooting lane.
If that one limb was gone, I could have shot him in that gap right there.
Big front's moving in. It's supposed to rain for 3 days solid, starting today at lunchtime. So we just have the worst luck in Ohio, man. Just the worst weather conditions, the worst. It's like, I don't even know what to say.
You know, at this point, I'm starting to think, well, bad things happen. It's just a slow build to a good ending. And good things are just around the corner. We're fixing to kill something in Ohio. Then on that same trip, at last light, I'm thinking, this is it, man. A good shooter buck is coming to us. Now this deer, by his rack, clearly a shooter buck.
Second chances don't know me. They really do come around.
But looking at his body, he's super skinny, and he's looking like he is probably a young deer. Not wanting to mess up and shoot a young deer, I pass on this daggone thing at like 30 yards. This deer ends up being another deer that Ty knows. He said he's a mature buck.
It's the last evening in Ohio. We passed on a buck last night, and it was regrettable that we did so. He's a good deer. Josh and I just thought he was younger than he was.
How many mistakes are we up to now? About 10?
135 inch maybe, 8-pointer. Beautiful deer. He's a cripple, so he had, I don't know if that's politically correct even with a deer. Stood there at 30 yards. We thought it was a 2-year-old. Ty said it has some kind of deformity or something. He was all skinny, and so we didn't shoot him. I didn't want to shoot a 2-year-old. Now I wish I'd have shot him. So we're back in this blind, just like we were last year, trying to get a shot at a deer. And these does came in. The wind's hitting us right in the face. The wind is perfect. These does came in and got to right there and freaked out and ran off, so.
Of course, a coyote runs out in the field and scares all the deer away.
Not exactly the ideal way to start the evening, but we're gonna sit here and see what happens. So, I don't know, Ohio has not been very lucky for us. We've seen a lot of big deer, and everybody else seems to be able to kill a deer. But we just have some hard luck in Ohio. Hopefully it'll turn around.
Well, you shake off a few of these bad things, like, oh, you know, it's not a cursed hunt. It's okay. There's no such thing as curses. But then the next thing, and the next thing, and the next thing happens to you.
'Cause I can't seem to lay my pride down.
Yeah.
Then on the same hunt at last light, a nice 10-pointer steps out, offers a shot. I come to full draw, resting my pin on the deer, and all of a sudden the 5-gallon bucket I'm sitting on breaks out from underneath me.
The bucket dropped down and made a popping noise.
I dropped down about 5 inches. He's alert, he ducks the shot. Arrow just went right underneath his skin, didn't even hurt him. He got away from me too.
Not how we wanted it to end, but hey, you know, some things in bow hunting, you know, nobody's perfect, and you can't control a lot of stuff that a wild animal does.
There's no way to describe how disappointed I was, especially after the way that last hunt went down.
It's not the storybook ending to the whitetail hunt we wanted, but happy ending nevertheless, at least for the deer.
At this point, I don't need to go back to Ohio. I didn't leave anything there but an arrow.
You can't keep me from laughing, and I can't keep you from crying.
I decided we got to recruit some help because we obviously have the black mark for Ohio, man. We decided to put a hit out on any bucks in Ohio that our friends could get killed on video. And the Copenhaver brothers, who are 2 close friends of ours and had just acquired some property in Ohio, fit that bill. So all we needed was for one of them to kill a deer in Ohio, and we could salvage some of this wasted time and wasted effort making footage in Ohio.
This is Santa Claus on a 4-wheeler. Ugly dog. We expected the deer to come right from there. Yeah, any second now.
But it turns out they're not so lucky in Ohio either.
This would happen. This monster 7-point Kaboom racer a wide at one time. And he's got his grab claw coming up on his side. And we started rattling, crying. That mug steady kind of stepped his way in. Marmy's bone rang 20 yards away. Blew the spot. But we'll keep him posted. We still got 5 more days. Whatever.
You gotta be lost to be found.
I was like, we can't win for losing, man. I don't know what to tell you.
You gotta be lost to be found.
You know, Ben did actually kill a nice buck that season, but the deer came in so fast.
That buck came in from out of nowhere real quick. I think I had about 10, 20-second, time lapse to get a shot off on him, but
Camera footage isn't really quite up to network standards, so
I'm gonna send Josh and Kip a text, and then the boys are up in Montana getting it done right now. They just got back from Illinois last week, but this Chuck went up pretty good, guys. He's gonna be a good buck. Me and Marty have been up here the past 2 years, just chasing bucks and never getting them within 20 yards, so we just said, hey, look, we're just gonna take a 55-yard shot.
later on that year, we linked up with a couple of our buddies, the Baker brothers, and they are definitely no strangers to killing big bucks in Ohio.
Down.
Yes.
Southern Ohio, man. It's either on or it's off, and it's been off a lot for us this year, so. Had to grunt him a little bit, do a little bit of rat on, but he come right on in. And come in here and sparred with a little buck, and it was kind of that now or never thing. And
So when these boys invited me out there to hunt with them on one of their secret big buck killing spots, I gladly accepted to try to go out there and get some revenge on the great state of Ohio.
Went to the ATA show, Archery Trade Association, and left my wife's suitcase at home. Left my archery tuning kit at home, which included my stabilizer, both my releases, GoPros, anything you could need for an archery hunt. All my tools to tune my bow with, and half of my good arrows. And so basically I went out and cut down a cedar tree, made the first ever cedar stabilizer. It's turned out pretty good for a cedar tree and a pocket knife. Season's winding down. We came up here to Ohio for 2 more days, trying to fill a tag. It's pretty much our last morning before the bad weather sets in. Then we're gonna come back if we don't kill a deer this morning. It's a great spot, man. We got no luck with Ohio. I don't know what it is about it.
You know, despite bad late season conditions, we did get a glimpse of a pretty good buck. So we decided to come back after SHOT Show for another late season hunt.
This is as cold as I've ever been. It's negative 9 degrees outside right now. Nobody should bow hunt this time of year. You should be gun hunting with big gloves on.
On this trip, it is brutal cold. It is not ideal bow hunting conditions.
But we're gonna do anything we can to take home some meat.
We did, however, have 2 close encounters with some pretty good shooter bucks.
As luck would have it, a group of 7 deer came out. Looked like one of them was gonna come right in and give us a shot.
But the end result was the same as every Ohio trip. We came up with the short end of the stick.
That sucked. But looked still cool, I guess. Sort of.
We have finally got y'all caught up now to the 2013-2014 hunting season. Well, the Copenhagen boys, Adam and Ben, made it out to Ohio this year a week ahead of us. And finally, thank goodness, a big Ohio bruiser makes a mistake.
Got to put a high shot place right up in the back, but you know what? No blood trail, dropped right in front of us. That's our last day. We couldn't ask for anything better, so this is freaking phenomenal. You know, a great win for the Red Arrow team this year. You know, Josh and Kip wouldn't be up here with us this week, but unfortunately his grandma passed away. But so those guys couldn't be up this way. But overall, man, happy to take one back home to South Carolina.
Well, Ben, thank you, son. You finally got the ball rolling. Y'all got to tune in next week to see if I finally break this Ohio curse.
If the doe comes out, I'm gonna shoot her in the eye socket.
Or if it's going to continue to plague us like it has been for the last 4 years.
I'm not really gonna shoot her in the eye socket. For all you people that are going, don't bother sending an email. I'm gonna shoot her in the nostrils.
Yeah, it's just called red arrows. I call them monster bugs. I don't know what we got into. Passing on everything. Next year's live will get dirty. We might just kill everything we see.